We are on with a very special guest for Diamond's Corner. Very, very special guest. UFC vet, Tim Kennedy. How you doing?
Dude, I'm awesome. Fantastic.
Thanks for coming on. You are making food for the kids. You're making artichoke. Tell me what you're doing right now.
Let's see. Shenanigans. That's what's happening. I just got back from a helicopter pilot class, and I walked in the door and I heated up an artichoke, pretty epic looking artichoke here, dude.
Let's see.
Here's
nice. Ooh, little dipping butter.
Right there. Next to his Y-wing, doing a little craft action. There's some more Star Wars stuff. Yeah. This is what it looks like when everybody does school from home and works from home.
I know. We just got a tour of your daughter working from your office. That was cool. And yeah, I got 3 teenagers, so I know what that's like. We're all making the best of it. But tell me, so I saw an amazing Instagram post from you showing all the stuff you got accomplished. It was like planting 3 pots, cleaning the chicken coop. You just ran around doing everything. I mean, you're obviously making the most of your time when you're home. What have you been up to?
Oh man, yeah. So we have some things that were omitted. We have like a fulfillment area here for one of my companies.
Whoa, we just passed the big gun safe. I think that looked like a big one.
Yeah, gun safes.
Safes. Well, I only saw one, but yeah.
Yeah, they're gigantic. And we converted one of a room into a gym. And then we made our garden bigger. We expanded our chicken coop. I fixed my pergolas. I finished all of the exterior furniture of the house and redid my outdoor barbecue area. I refinished all the metal outdoor furniture. And then I started getting on the kids stuff. So we're turning the back like 3 acres into like a kid playscape playground.
Awesome.
I'm gonna put it in perspective. We have a pirate ship that is legitimately the size of like a small boat, and I ordered cannons, like functional cannons, to go on it. And then we have a 25-foot high pirate flag pole. I had to sink that thing 3 feet into the ground into like limestone. That sucked.
Are you sure this is for your kids or is this for you? I'm not really sure. Or both.
So the cannons are operational, and I'm not sure I'm gonna let my 5-year-old operate them, which means they're for me.
How many kids do you have?
4.
You have 4 kids? And how long have you been in this spot for? On this on the Kennedy compound, it sounds like.
About a year.
Oh, about a year.
Yeah.
Okay, so you how do you get all this done? What is your day like? What time are you like a jocko that wakes up at 4:30 in the morning every day and just starts going? I mean, walk me through like a day right now in life right now.
So I'm like a 6 o'clock-ish guy.
Okay.
I do work from like 6 to 8 when the rest of the household starts waking up. Have breakfast ready for them at 8:30. We all eat breakfast together. It's like a thing.
That's good.
Yeah. So fried eggs for the girls, the teenagers, and scrambled eggs for the kids, the itty bitties. We break them down into 2 categories: the teenagers and the itty bitties. Fresh fruit, fresh oatmeal. Just everything you need to get the day going. That's 8:30. I work out right after that when everybody starts school and doing their thing. So I get my workout in around like
now. Is this a home workout, or are you going
right now?
Are you going?
COVID, it's a home workout.
Right.
But so I have a couple of friends that come over here that I consider family. So I didn't care what the government said. We have been working out the whole entire time. And so it's from like 9 to 10:30. Then I work for a couple hours, and then we go to the range and shoot, which is also kind of working for me. And then we come back. School is wrapping up around this time. So we do like outdoor stuff, and this is project time from like 2:33 in the afternoon until the sun sets at 7 p.m.
Wow.
And then dinner at 6:37. Baths for everybody, and then I work again.
Now, when you say work, are we talking working on sheepdog stuff? Are we working on, what are we working on? Just everything, everything Tim Kennedy? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard. I did a post where I was like, man, I really miss getting back to work. And then somebody's like, well, what is it exactly that you do? And I was like, I talk to the engineers. They're not good with customers. So the customers don't have to. I'm a people person. I'm good with people. Damn it. Why don't you understand this? Yeah, sometimes it's like military stuff where I'm like catching up on online courses that I have to do, like Sierra 100, or to have a government travel card. You have to do all these stupid courses. You have no idea the bureaucracy that
I'm sure.
how inefficient the government makes people when they work for them. And I own like 6 companies, and
Wow.
3 of them we literally do, like, we work out of our house. Then one of them is in North Carolina, one of them is in Dallas, Texas, and the other one's in kind of central Austin.
Wow. So you're busy. So you got emails coming, you got everything, making time for us. I mean,
Yep.
You're a busy guy. Let me go back to breakfast. I'm gonna jump around a little bit. The eggs. So your eggs, you have a chicken coop, your fresh eggs. I mean,
Yeah.
It sounds like
fresh eggs. We're like first in, first out. Oh, here comes. He's still wearing pajamas. That's good.
Okay. Yeah, and you're big Star Wars fans over there, it sounds like.
Oh yeah.
Me too.
So this is today, Tuesday, Monday, Sunday, and then we ate these from Saturday. So tomorrow's eggs right here. Wednesday we'll hit right there.
So so you just keep it rotating to keep them fresh, and that's just how it works. I mean.
Yeah, we have like a few extra eggs every day, so those kind of like go to neighbors sometimes, or we make a souffle, just mix it up.
Cool. Tell me about that flag behind you. Looks like an old Texas flag or something, right?
It is. Yep.
That's cool. Is it an antique?
That's it. No, my friends, they took the tea that was salvaged from the Boston Harbor when we threw it in there, and then they stained this flag with it.
Beautiful. I love it. What's next? I mean, what are you up to? I mean, is this the routine? I mean, are we any trips, or, I mean, what's it? Kind of hanging at the house?
Right now, yeah, I guess so. I'm going to give like 2 more weeks for the coronavirus to kind of blow over. My life has not changed much at all, really.
Not much either, but yeah.
Yeah. Still working, still shooting, still training, all that's the same. My travel is what has kind of been hampered. So fewer speaking engagements, less traveling to train, and less traveling to train people. And then I literally was one of the last flights in from overseas, coming back from a military trip before that international travel got shut down. So that was close. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on this? I mean, everybody kind of doesn't know what to think and who to believe, and there's just, the media's crazy. I mean, do you have any insight, any thoughts, or, I mean?
I think everybody can collectively agree that the media is crazy.
Yes.
Panic breeds panic, and I hope somebody is held accountable for the panic that was bred by when you're intentionally making people panic. So I love freedom of speech. I love all the Constitution, no doubt there. But I can't walk into a movie theater and scream fire or murder or rape, right? Because bad things happen. People get hurt. People get trampled. And then if you do that, you've broken the law, because you've intentionally put people at risk and in danger. I kind of think that that's what has happened. When you go back to like January and it's like, hey, this is going to be crazy. Like there's going to be bodies in the street, right?
Right.
Millions upon millions of Americans are going to die. The healthcare system's going to break. Nobody can handle this. Here's the models. The models are coming from the best and the brightest on the planet. Matter of fact, this computer system has never been wrong, give or take 1%. So we're talking 2 million people, like in the state of New York, you know. And then like a month later, they're like, so it's going to be a bad flu, you know. So I mean, at this point, I find it so horrific and disappointing where they're still reporting these numbers of these corona deaths. And if you just go to the same period of time from last year, it's almost the exact same number. You know, like New York has had a spike, but the vast majority of the country, it's like, wait, so these are all people that were going to die anyways, statistically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like any complication, insert anything with somebody that is obese, that has diabetes, that's 80 years old. Like
a lot can take you down. Right.
Anything can take you down, whether it's the flu, whether it's like a seasonal allergy,
pneumonia,
like literally.
I mean, right.
Yeah, any of that stuff. And so I have found it really, really frustrating to look at our politicians and to look to the media, because that's where I think a lot of people get their information from. And both of those have been totally partisan, completely. You know, you have like this line of dialogue and this line of dialogue from the mainstream media, and then you have this line of dialogue and this line of dialogue from all politicians. And I think just us as Americans, we're like, really, like, come on now. And it's the same in social media. You know, it's still partisan, where it's like you have this person saying this thing, and then the complete opposing view saying this thing. But then the rest of us, like the other 95% of people down the middle, you got 2.5% of crazies on the left and 2.5% of crazies on the right, you know, are like, wait a second, you're doing a rally at the Capitol right now. So business opens, but the only way business can open is if the corona transmission and death trend downwards. But there's thousands of you at the Capitol. Do you see how these are like mutually exclusive things? So there's literally like no common sense on either end of these idiot groups. One is like, we're going to stay in our houses for like the next 3 months. And we're like, got it. You're a millionaire and you live in like a $5 million house, you know, like Ellen DeGeneres. I don't need you to tell me how to live. You know, Tom Cruise, good for you. You're staying at home, you know, like, great. Guess what? I have to go back to work, and I have like a bunch of employees that I have to lay off if we don't start making money. And for every percentage of unemployment, suicide goes up. You know, every time homelessness goes up, we're talking about drug addiction, alcohol abuse. So we're not talking like economy versus lives. We're talking like lives versus lives. And like either people are going to starve to death when they hit the street, or they start killing themselves because they can't pay their mortgage, or they might get sick.
What is the average guy, you know, that doesn't know what to read, that's too busy actually working? I mean, my family business is construction. We do roofing. So, you know, I'm still involved in that business, and I'm working 6 days a week, and I'm out there, and, you know, I got to do it. I got a mortgage. I got 3 kids. And so I don't even have time to do the research to even look for the facts. What do I do? What is the average? Who do you look to get facts, or is that even possible?
It's very, very difficult, especially when the facts themselves are skewed. You know, when you look at the information that came from the CDC versus the WHO, for example. So if it sounds like one of the companies I own, Sheepdog Response, we have a security consulting company called SDR Security Consulting. And because of the question that you just asked, we created a standalone living document that all the information in it is updated every 24 hours. And that information only comes from primary sources. So we're talking like .gov or .cdc, you know, cdc.gov, like only from legitimate, recognized, not CNN.com, not FoxNews.com, not, you know, not Trump. Whatever, you know, it's just from primary sources. And even sifting through that, you would find serious, I'll call them lies from different partisan groups. Like
Mhm.
WHO, without a doubt, was hiding results for China. So you like look at information coming out of China, which is being released by WHO, which would create projections and models. And then you look at what happens in Italy and you're like, wait a second. Like if X is China and Y is Italy, then how are they so vastly different? Are we talking like population density? Are we talking about like people with underlying health conditions that are underreported? Or are we just talking about complete statistical fraud? And it's definitely the latter. So like what the WHO is going to get hammered. They're going to get defunded by us. Like there's no way that they're going to get out of this without getting completely trampled on by, I think, the entire developed world. You know, I think all of Europe is going to be like, you guys are a bunch of assholes that got a bunch of people killed. And America, obviously Trump, I think, has been very clear about what he's going to do with WHO, which is flush them down the toilet. But just from like a primary source information, it has been very difficult to find real data, because even the data that's coming in, you know, when you start kind of digging into things, a COVID death just means that the person died and they had COVID. It doesn't mean that COVID caused the death. And that's a very difficult thing to determine between the two. So like Los Angeles is a really great example. There's been very, very few people that have died from COVID there, but they have had people die that had Corona. So for example, a skater was skateboarding down the road and got hit by a bus, and he also had Corona. How do you say, is he a COVID death or is he got ran over by a bus death?
So ran over by the bus death.
But that's not how he gets reported.
Exactly.
And so that is super disingenuous, when even because they get it, hospitals wanted funding, extra ventilators, extra masks, so higher numbers, you get better federal and state response. And that just pisses me off. Like, I just want people to be honest.
Yeah, that's the problem, is it's money, and there's just it's just all for money, and
Money and
everybody's
power.
got, yeah, and everybody's got an agenda. But meanwhile, there are just a ton of business, even our businesses, you know, I mean, guys can't go train and use cups and jock straps and what we sell. So you know, a little business like ours that, you know, I've been doing this for over a decade, start out of my garage, just building and grinding and developing our products, and, you know, prototype after prototype, and I got a wall of stuff here, and now just shut off, you know what I mean? And you know, it hurts everybody. I mean, the bars, the restaurants, it's really scary if all these people are losing their jobs and losing their businesses because of nonsense. It's crazy. So I mean, so how do you keep a good attitude? I mean, maybe not you, but how did the rest of us keep a good attitude during this time?
I like your approach. Your approach is also my approach. I have been too busy to listen to the lies. You know, like being like a positive person is a choice. And like you can get on Twitter and you can click on hashtag COVID_19 and get super depressed, like a recent horrific death where this baby, you know, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, is that true or not? You know, but that's a choice,
right?
That you went down that road. Or like, look at that awesome little piece of furniture that just got sanded and refinished with a little Texas flag and this Lone Star, Texas. Yeah, I did that thing, you know?
And you could spend your time doing that instead. That's, you know, I talked to fighter James Krause, and I brought him up a couple times, and we had a good talk about just productivity, and just, you know, even Brad Pickett, I had this talk with, he was on our show too, another UFC vet, you know, to-do lists, making the most out of your 24 hours and just getting shit done, you know, and especially in a time when you're, you know, you have more time to be stuck at home if that's your situation.
Can you still hear me right now?
Yeah, I can't. So
you can't see me, right? Good. So this is here is my current to-do list. So I have to reorganize Ginger's, my wife's, chicken and farming stuff. And
I can't see you, but just want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, you're good. I'm reading my to-do list.
Oh, you're reading from the phone. Got it. Sorry.
Uh-huh. So I got door latches. I have to install and change the door latches. I have to do a trash run because I cut down a couple of trees. I replaced a barbecue and I replaced a smoker. I need to seal my outdoor water feature into my pool. I can update that one. I finished my furniture. Fix the water damaged furniture, build box around pirate ship, remove sand from horseshoe pits and transport to water tanks, fix flagpole, and add fencing.
Wow.
So that's my current, that's what I'm going to do this week, and that's in my little window from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. So no, you don't have to have like a flow chart of the things that you need to do, but positivity and productivity are choices. And, if I see like the big girls being inefficient at something, I was like, go outside and work out, go hop in the pool. Boom, they get like this huge endorphin, serotonin rush. And like, yeah, I feel like it. And they like come back in and get back to work. So it's a really slippery slope so if positivity is a choice, negativity are also choices. And it's not just one choice, it's lots of little choices, right? So if you're not eating healthy, if you're not exercising, if you're not sleeping, if you're not having sex, if you're not like outdoors, if you're not like every single one of those little decisions, like
what humans need, to be successful.
Yeah, and to like the cornerstones of kind of who we are as humans, like especially in the self-isolation quarantine period, it makes it it's not a conducive environment to do the things that you need to do to be a healthy, just from as a man, a healthy man. Right, like I need to go like do things. I need calluses on my hands. I need like to work and to sweat and to be outside and to throw my wife over my shoulder and like run around the house a couple of times and then get to business.
This is amazing. I got a few minutes left, but I want to talk to you more, and we'll do this again because it's so inspiring. And I mean, I just want to be one of your kids and like live at your house and be cooked breakfast and play in the pirate ship and have like Father of the Year, but I'm too old. How were you raised, in like a minute or two? How do you know how to do all this stuff? I mean, was it your parents? Was it the military? I mean, I think you froze for a minute. Oh, there you are.
There? Yep. Yeah, I just end my Wi-Fi because here's this little savage. There's another cross net where we do a bunch of practice. There's our gym.
It's beautiful out there. How many? So I mean, I don't know if you heard me, but how do you know how to do all this stuff? I mean, to get through your to-do list, I would have to have a couple of my workers come help me. I mean, maybe you're more handy.
Hey, Jiggy.
Oh, look at that.
Look at these sweet guys. Look, this one will literally come up and try to fight to get in the pet zone. And they do a little shake after they get petted. So I grew up in very similar. I had an amazing father, amazing mother, hardworking. And we, land, country. It's not like, I mean, in the DIY era, I don't think there's very much that you can't learn how to do.
That's true.
Like I'd never poured a foundation, but I wanted to build protective things around my house. So, like for my pump, because I have a big, huge well and water tank. So like I had to pour a foundation.
Cool.
Or I could pay somebody else to do it. And, that cost $4,000 or it cost me $800 to buy the cement. This was a smokehouse that is now a coop. It's like the know-how is really just, it's back to those choices where I have to make a choice about how I'm going to spend my time. I could go play video games. I could. So me at 40 right now, even being an entrepreneur, I will refuse to not be growing. So right before we got on this phone, I just got back from flying with my buddy Steve, who's my helicopter instructor, as I'm getting my helicopter license, and I'm 6 flights in the middle of ground school, and here's my pirate ship.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm going to have cannons right there. Think about that.
I want to see him with the cannons, but I'm sure I'll follow you and see a picture of that. Look at that. That flag is tall.
Yeah. I can go up another thing, but it's windy and we got a storm coming in, so I'm actually going to drop it. So it's like, it's choices. It's what are you going to do with your time? The only commodity that we can't make more of. I can make money. I can't make time. So like, how do you spend your time? Do you spend it with your family? Do you spend it improving as a person? Or do you just like stay status quo? And status quo to me is purgatory. When you start getting into an Ilium, they would define purgatory, especially in philosophy, as sameness. You are just same for forever. And I don't want that. I don't want my relationships to be that. I don't want my life to be that. I don't want myself as an athlete to be that. So to answer your questions, that was learned from my family. My father was the same way. My uncles were the same way. My grandparents were the same way. And so I'm just trying to.
There's got to be days. There's got to be days that even Superman Tim Kennedy gets lazy or tired or unmotivated. I mean, are there those days, or do you just push through it and have that mindset and drink a cup of coffee and go? I mean, is there any downtime that you'd feel?
I'm gonna be an asshole. Motivation is a fart in the wind. It is nothing you can ever count on. So like, are there days that I am not motivated to get up and do like a horrific, like I had a horrific workout this morning. We did this filthy 50 with this 2-mile run, 50 burpees, 50 kettlebell swings with 44 kettlebell, like, wait, I mean, it was horrible. And like, look at my hand right now.
Oof.
And like, did I wake up to do that? And I had to hop in my pool to cool off so I could hop in the helicopter and go do my lesson. So I didn't like drip sweat like I was pissing myself all day long.
Right.
So motivation, it wanes. It is not consistent. It is not trustworthy. Motivation, like people looking for motivation all the time, like going to a guru. I get text messages and emails and Instagram messages and they're coming to me asking for motivation. And Jocko Willink, I'm gonna ruin what he said, but I'm gonna explain the concept. That motivation can never be counted on. Only discipline can you rest assured will be there. So that's how it is with me. Yes, there are days, absolutely, I do not want to go to bed early. I want to go grab a bottle of Jack Daniels. I never drink. There are days that like maybe I don't want to go make love to my wife. Like I'd rather just go play video games. Well, guess what? I got rid of my PlayStation. I got rid of my Xbox, and I'm gonna make love to my wife every single day. Maybe there's going to be days where I don't want to get up and train, but I've already scheduled every single day to have a training partner to be here and a workout that is going to be waiting for me to do it. No, I don't want to go. Yeah. But and accountability in many different forms, and accountability is just a tool for discipline. So you have to be creative sometimes because everybody's life is different. Everybody's situation is different. Like, no, you can't have your best friend fly his helicopter into your backyard and show up and work at the home gym. I got that. But like, I was enlisted in the Army, right? I was living off of an E4 salary when me, Ian Marone, Steve Coleman, Greg Thompson were like putting tarps down on the sand so we could grapple to get me ready for a fight.
So you do what you have to do. You do it. There's a great, I think it's a Teddy Roosevelt quote. You do what you can, where you're at with what you have, or in one of those orders.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you're saying. I mean, not everybody has a multi-acre compound that helicopters can fly into, but everybody's got a room or a garage or the ability to drop down and do some push-ups. I mean,
yeah. I was in basic training. We would take like, they wouldn't give us anything to work out. I don't even think we were allowed to work out. And we'd push the bunks together so we could do gymnastic drills, like V-sits, and we could do dips, and we could do inverted handstands, like all off of the bunk bed. So like anybody that says, oh, well, but you now have, no, that's not how it works. It's never been that way. I was getting ready for a fight while I was in Ranger School. Like, come on.
What do you say to someone that's that hasn't been as disciplined as you, doesn't have, the military to teach them discipline, and maybe they're a 40-year-old dude on his couch that just wants to change, and maybe does drink too much or smoke too much. I mean, what can they do now? Or is it too late?
Yeah, so I'm super jealous of that person. And I'm super jealous because think about what I have to do to get 1% better. I'll use shooting as an analogy. For me to get like 0.1 second faster out of my holster, I have to draw about 2,000 times perfectly for me to get a 1/10 of a second improvement.
Mm-hmm.
So this dude, this 40-year-old that plays video games, drinks and smokes, that's on the couch, all you have to do is one little bit thing better every day. Like just improve 1%. And while that doesn't sound like a lot, like if you get 1% better every single day, like you get up, okay, you can't run around the block. That's okay. Walk around the block. You know, okay, you're a pack a day. Maybe like if you can cold turkey it, do it. If you can just like maybe take 2 cigarettes off, and then the next day take another 2, and then the next week take another 2, and then the week after that maybe you relapse a little bit. It's okay. Nobody's perfect. You know, like, but the idea is you
trying
just a little bit of discipline and effort will go so far.
Are there any tools to this hypothetical person, which probably isn't so hypothetical? There's a lot of those out there. And would it be a to-do list? Would it be a piece of paper? Would it be a rubber band around your wrist to snap to? I mean, are there any actual tools to help do this, and rather than your mind that's probably not disciplined enough?
Yeah. One of the owner of one of the companies that I work with, U.S. Concealed Carry Association, he makes every single employee write out 3 goals that they have for the year, and they take those goals and they put them on the wall. And every single year, those employees have to go back and update the goals. Some of it's like finish their degree. Some of them stop smoking. Sometimes it's like be able to run a 10-minute mile. You know, whatever those goals are, when you put that one imprinting in front of you, the chances of you completing it are so much higher. But then let's take it a step further. Let's take those goals and let's share that with a very trusted friend. Your chance of improving those things are even further. And then let's go one more step. We take that same list and we publicly share it. You know, like I said, I was going to get faster at sprinting, and I posted my 40 time, my 100 time, my 5-10-5 time, my vertical time, and my box jump height. That was a year ago. And then we did a 6-month protocol for me to be faster. And guess what? I got faster in every single measurable way at 40 years old. So,
wow.
But I put that out to, you know, a million something people that follow me. And that's by design. That's to do exactly what I'm telling, you know, like that person sitting on the couch to do, which is accountability, which is a form of discipline, and taking that step of faith and effort. And then like 1%, man.
Awesome. Tim, thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to cut it off before we get cut off, but this was really awesome and motivating. And yeah, if anybody's listening out there that needs it, do it. And, you know, find people around you that can help you be accountable and hold you accountable. And like you said, write it down, post to more people for more accountability. And that's great stuff, man. Thanks again.